Today, we're gonna answer the question, is the Zhaoking M1K the world's lightest mouse? Spoiler, the answer is yes. All right, this comes in a box that honestly feels lighter than a lot of mice that I've held. So that's a good sign. This is a crowdfunded mice, and the whole purpose was to make the world's lightest mouse. It's very specific, it's not an all-purpose mouse. In fact, as you can see right here, no scroll wheel, no side buttons. All it is sensor, 2 buttons. So for some games that's gonna be fine, for others it's gonna be bad, but as I play mostly FPS, I am the target audience for this, so I'm excited to see how this does. Like the mouse's no frills, this box is very no frills. It's literally the mouse, some foam, that's it. It's a nice box though. You can put some stuff in there. It's a pretty long cable, that's not bad. As you can see, part of how they reduce the weight is instead of having plastic, it's actually the world's first carbon fiber mouse. You can see the kind of texture underneath. They also accomplished it by having a honeycomb plastic underneath. The creators don't like honeycomb on the hand, I get it. Just like Logitech, it kind of feels weird, it gets dirty. But underneath, as you can see, they have done that to shed some weight. And man, look how tiny this little PCB is. So it doesn't even extend past here. It's really just tiny little PCB, sensor, and buttons. And then they're Omron ones, I think they're rated for 2 million, made in Japan ones. So these are pretty good switches, very common. They feel fine. There's no side buttons, and there's no scroll wheel. Some people think that's a contentious issue, but honestly, I think the perfect gaming mouse would have no scroll wheel. For all the games I play, I select my weapons using the numbers, so I don't ever use the scroll. And if as a third button, it's kind of the shittiest button of the 3. And so I'm into the idea of no scroll wheel. However, I want a third button and the side buttons. And really, on the body, in terms of lightness, there's not much to comment on. Because they're trying to shed weight, there's not much glide pad, so I'm excited to see if that is a less smooth experience. It might be. And lightness isn't everything. As we're about to discover, there's other factors that make a good mouse. Like shape, as you can see, this looks like one of those tiny little Microsoft mice you could buy in the 2000s, the little wireless ones that my mom used. And they were good for her, but not for gaming. This is a very particular shape. It's insanely light. Like having it here, it doesn't even feel like I'm really moving something. My hand feels like more of a burden than this mouse, honestly. It's pretty crazy. Holy smokes. And it's because it's so light, those tiny little glide pads kind of do the job. I mean, to achieve 21 grams, which is how light this mouse is, we'll measure it after, they had to make it a wired mouse. Obviously, if you put a battery in there, you're gonna hit 50, 60 grams pretty quick. Even the lightest wireless mouse, the G Pro X Superlight, is like 3 times heavier than this. Batteries, they're heavy. And if you're going for this title, you can't have a battery. So, it's 21 to 22-ish grams, depending on how much of the cable's there. So I'd say, yeah, they definitely have accomplished their goal of 23 grams or lighter. So they have a cable. It's not braided, but it's specially designed. So I don't know what the durability is like, but it's light, and like even here, it doesn't really feel that hard to drag around. So I think that's the idea, is it's not gonna be the mouse that you're gonna have for the rest of your life, but they wanted to have the smoothest, lightest experience. So I don't know if there's much else to say on the mouse itself. It's not particularly comfortable, although that's the last thing I expected was to find it comfortable. I think this is the gold standard in mice. Obviously, one difference is it's wireless versus wired. It's a lot heavier, 61 grams versus 23 grams. Although this feels friggin', is this a super light? It feels heavier than mine. Maybe I'm getting spoiled by this. Now this feels like a dead weight, like a dumbbell I'm pushing around, This isn't the lightest puck. It's got the glide pad, so it's a little bit heavier. But in terms of shape, I think the G Pro X is clearly more designed for the average human hand. There's more buttons. It's a flawless sensor. The buttons are very similar, and there's way more glide pad. And so, although this isn't a bad experience, this is way smoother, even though it's heavier. There's not much else to say about this mouse other than this is the no frills of mice. This is the grocery store you go to. They don't even sell plastic bags. You gotta bring your own cardboard boxes. That's pretty much it. Let's plug it in, see how it goes, but before we do that, let's talk about our sponsor, PIA. Private Internet Access is a VPN that lets you access services and websites as if you were in a different country. It encrypts all of your internet traffic and uses a safe, protected IP. You can connect up to 10 devices at once, and there's clients for Windows, macOS, Android, iOS, and Linux. You can buy a 1-year plan for $39.95 at the link in the description below. Okay, so I'm trying to download the software, and this mouse proves itself not to be a daily driver, because immediately I was trying to scroll as if this was like the magic mouse and there was like a capacitive touch scroll. Nope, this is not great. Let's try and see if this mouse really does do what it does best with the old classic, Rainbow Six. It's new season, time to play. I actually haven't played the new season. I haven't had time to practice, get warmed up, and so too scared. I wanna be a winner, you know? Maybe this mouse is what makes me a winner. So first impression, I can already feel my hand kind of like tensing up, at least my wrist. It's not a super comfortable shape. Like, it's certainly not ergonomic. I don't know what the opposite of ergonomic is, but it is that. I can already tell I'm gonna miss the side buttons, but that's not a big deal. Not everyone uses those side buttons for games. Okay, we're gonna compare to the G Pro X Superlight. This is the mouse I have at home. This is what I think is the best mouse money can buy right now. You can see by the shape of this mouse, there's really only one way you're gonna hold it. You're gonna be clawing this mouse pretty hard. And as I'm kind of a hybrid person, I get my palm on the mouse and then claw up a little bit. It's not very comfortable to have my palm nowhere and kind of have to shape it. I think that's why my hand tensed up a little bit before. If you're a natural claw, maybe this mouse would feel pretty good for you, but it's not my hand shape. Immediately, it feels a lot heavier, which is surprising. This felt like the lightest thing I've ever held before today. It's still a smoother experience. It's a little bit heavier, but it's still so light that it's not a big difference. I was having a pretty hard time making the firmware work on the other mouse, whereas Logitech, it might be a little bit heavier of a software, but it's just an executable that you run and then it's working and it's super easy to configure all your Logitech devices in one place. So that's definitely a big benefit, that it's kind of a more refined product. I say that I want a gaming mouse without a scroll wheel, but now that I've tried it, I can already tell how it's annoying. You take it for granted how many times you just scroll, even in a game, like just the menus. I would definitely have to get used to it, or like assign like a modifier that I could press and drag or something. It's not impossible, but it feels insurmountable at this moment. If I was a flick master, this mouse would be friggin' insane. There's no resistance. I can go like 40 inches in a second. I feel like it's pretty accurate to what I'm used to, which is surprising. I was worried that I would like overcompensate, overshoot a lot, but feels pretty friggin' precise. And I mean, like, the sensor's a flawless sensor, so I wasn't too worried about it being inaccurate, but I really thought that the weight would just throw me off. But I'm actually liking this more than I thought I would. All right, okay. Maybe this mouse has something going on. Yeah, it feels like it's really precise. Like, there's no momentum to your big swings, your flicks. Feels like it's just kind of like my brain is connected to my hand and my hand is just moving. I will say the shape is always gonna get in the way. I think that something this light in a slightly different shape might be better. It might not be possible. This is like such a small shape, and to get something this weight but more comfortable, it's probably just not feasible physically. But I want to give it another go because I'm surprised. I thought I would be pooping all over this mouse for the whole video. I think this is an incredible proof of concept in that they can make a mouse this light. But I think what I would like to see is kind of a compromise, something that uses this technology, the kind of breakthroughs they've had, but then makes a more complete mouse. I'm okay with no scroll wheel. I could learn to live with that, but no third button, no like side buttons. It's kind of hard. The shape's a little bit off, but the precision is real. And I didn't really think I was gonna notice a huge difference, but every friggin' short circuit I do, I'm realizing how much more I shouldn't have gotten a G Pro X Superlight. Between 8K, which this mouse has, but we weren't able to get working in this video, and the insane lightness, mice are gonna keep getting better, and that's exciting, because like the Kickstarter, which is over now, this mouse costs 249 euros, so that's like 350 US. That's pretty fucking pricey. When you compare to 150 for the G Pro X, and you're gonna get a complete mouse, and this would be the only mouse you need, clearly this becomes a little less appealing, but they nailed what they set out to do. Make what they claim is the world's lightest mouse, make the world's first carbon fiber mouse, and now we know it's possible. Maybe that's the next era of mice, the next little shaving off of weights. This is a really cool product, and I'm very glad I got to try it today. So thank you for watching. We have lots more mouse unboxings you can check out. Please like this video if you want to see more mice videos. Please subscribe, and thank you for coming.